Hey, Ethan.
Hello. Get this.
Zoom's been doing some funky things. Thanks for hanging in there with us, everybody.
Up. Edit, share. Screen share loading. And there we go. I'll give just another minute or so just to make sure we can get some people in here.
Yeah, if we want to do that demo, I can send Alex a recording if he doesn't hop on today. I'm going to go ahead and let Radley ask this question first, and then we can do the demo after.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Hey, Ethan.
Hey, how are you?
All right, man. How are you today?
Doing okay.
Wonderful. Very good. I actually have two questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
On a form, when you present the form to the user, is there a way to maximize the height only?
How so?
Like, because I have no idea what type of screen the user's gonna be using. So I want to make it so the form always shows the bottom bar and the title bar, right? So they just scroll within the vertical stack within the form. I do see the setting that you can maximize the form to height and width, but then of course, obviously depending on what type of screen they have, it could be massive at that point. But height is really the only thing I'm concerned about. Is there an option to do that?
I believe at the moment, forms are stuck in the dimensions that we set them to.
Okay.
And so when it comes to vertical stacks and horizontal stacks, it will, expand and compress based on what we have showing on the form, but it can't actually edit that actual form border.
Okay.
The one exception to that would be if we were to display a form via UI, say call it via API or something like that, and we display it directly on the browser rather than in the portal. It will expand to fill that entire browser window, but I don't think that was quite what you were looking for.
It is, and I've played around with putting the form in a new window, opening it in a new window, and then setting it to maximize. Like I said, that just makes it, obviously quite large, and depending on the screen. So that answers that question. So that's good. And then, secondly, is there any sort of administration report where I can see everybody currently logged in?
That is a good question. Let me go ahead and look quickly. I'm actually going to send that out as well. I just sent that out to the rest of my team because I am curious. I'll do some digging here locally as well. Let's jump into query. Session. So it looks like we've got a table, and this is just me looking. Got a table called entity account session. And it doesn't look like it quite has. Here, I'll go ahead and post that query in here quickly as well. This is the first time I've looked at it, so I can't speak to its reliability on active sessions, but it looks like it has session creation date and it has an expiration date, update date. And of course, this is on my local instance as well, so I'm the only one that actually uses it.
Right.
From account session.
And that's a you said that's the name of a table.
Yeah, that's a table
Okay.
name. I just dropped it in the chat here. Let's see. Whoops, I sent it to. Yeah, entity account session. So I'm not quite sure. What sort of use case are we looking for here?
Well, we're having some issues now. And I'm going to submit a ticket related to this, where we're having to restart the server periodically throughout the day.
Mhm.
And I want to know. I just want to see who's logged in, so I know who I need to contact or who might be impacted with what they're doing. It's really kind of a real-time need to let people know that the system is coming down. Obviously, I can put it in the maintenance mode and they get that message. But from what I've done in my testing, if I put something in maintenance mode and I'm logged into the system, I can stay logged into the system after it's in maintenance mode and I can do things. So I want to make sure that people are actually out.
Yeah, well, I know for maintenance mode specifically, are you an administrator on the server?
I am, but I have another browser with a test user.
Okay, interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, I've had it in maintenance mode and it's been several minutes after I put it in the maintenance mode that I'm still opening forms, starting workflows, submitting things. Once I log out, I can't log back in, but if I'm logged in, I can stay logged in from what I can tell.
interesting. Yeah, I wonder if that's triggered on like a refresh or something on the browser where it just needs some
I mean, I have refreshed it. Yep, I've done that just to kind of see what would happen. I've navigated around. It works as normal, but like I said, once you log out, then you get the the banner that only administrators can log back in.
yeah,
So-
we can definitely take a look at that. I can see. Is that ticket already in or are you going to submit it in the near future?
I haven't submitted a ticket specifically for that. It's for the other issue that's causing the restarts that I need to submit the ticket for. I think that's gonna be
Okay, gotcha.
a bigger deep dive. But yeah, so that's the use case.
Yeah, I mean, I think this table is about all we have for now, which unfortunately isn't super great. I mean, it gives us an account ID and the creation. But there could be some other ways that we could look into it. And if you want, I could go ahead and just throw a ticket in and
Yeah.
assign it to myself and I could work through it offline, see what we can look at.
That'd be awesome.
All right.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Add my notes. Ticket for maintenance mode. Perfect. Looks like. Oop, and actually, Bradley, hold on just a sec. I think I just found a report that we have here. If you search in your search bar for the active users report, looks like we've got one. Comes with account ID, machine name, server, OS, lapse update date. That's actually a lot better than the table I found.
Nice. Yeah, that's spectacular. That's what I needed.
Yeah, that is perfect.
Yeah.
With team
Great.
members come in clutch right there.
Sweet. Thanks, Ethan.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, see ya.
All righty, so let's see. So it looks like we've got Nancy here. Hi, I'm having trouble getting my CSS settings that I've applied to a page showing up in the dashboard. See the setting on the page in preview. One example is I have a run flow button on the page that I want to display based on CSS settings. All right, I want to pull Nancy in here. If possible, Nancy, would you be able to share your screen? So we can have her-
Let me see. Hold on. Oh,
I think we might need to pull you in as a panelist, if I remember how webinars work.
let me see. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Check one. All right.
When it promotes you to panelist, you'll probably need to unmute yourself one more time.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and shop my screen.
I'll go to my project. Okay. Yeah, I think I can. Now, I know this is a little big, but you can get an idea.
No worries.
Okay, actually, okay. So, okay, I think you have these panelists in. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. It looks like you're still not showing as a panelist. Let's see.
Yeah, you should be getting
Oh, I see.
pop-up. Okay, there you go.
There we go. All right, and it does auto mute you, so you will need to come off mute one more time.
So you can hear me. All right.
Yep.
So let me go to my dashboard. Share. Look at the right screen. So I've tried a couple of different things. Are you seeing decisions?
Yep, looking at Decision Studio now.
So for one, I want this to be, let me kind of go to here so you can kind of see. So I have this, and then I have a font that I'm using for all of this, and I can get like my different buttons, you know, to show up how I want. So I can do that forward, okay? But in the dashboard, I'd like this to be that same font, but I can't. And then I'd like this button, these buttons to be better. And I mean, maybe it did take an action. This looks somewhat like what I had as a button. But when I go to the page that it's on, so let me go to the pages. Let me go to this one here. Here's the page. So like here, I have it bigger. Now I know this is way too big, so don't get on with that. But I'm not sure if it's applying to the, so I have here, I'm applying my CSS, but it looks like one way here, and then it's looking another way in the dashboard. So like, I don't know how for sure that this is getting the right, how to get it the right settings that I want. Like, will it take like whatever I put in the page, it looks one way, but then it's different on the dashboard.
It realistically should. CSS can be kind of funky, so
I agree.
this this may be something that we might need to branch into a support ticket. But one thing I can recommend is, I'm not sure if you've used Magic CSS before.
No, I'm new at CSS. So what's Magic CSS?
It is a Chrome application. I'll admit I am not the best with CSS at all, so I'll fully come out and say that. But it's a Chrome tool that you can apply, and we use it a lot of times on support for kind of troubleshooting this stuff. But it can help with sort of making sure that we're applying CSS to the correct pieces on a page, and so it just assists overall in making sure you can mouse over and kind of inspect certain elements on a page to ensure that we're applying it to the right style, to the right class, and all that other sort of fun stuff. But as I said, that might be something that we could kind of throw in on a support ticket. And if you want, you can attach the CSS file to that ticket. I'd be happy to submit it for you. And then all you'd have to do is just apply that or attach that file, and we could take a look at it on call or through email if you'd like.
Can you show how you do the Magic CSS?
Let me pull it up. It's been a while since I've used it. Actually, I don't even think I have it installed anymore. Oh no.
Oh, it's something that needs to be installed.
Yeah, it goes onto your Chrome web browser. So
Okay.
it's a Chrome tool. It's available in the Chrome store.
Okay.
Let me see if I can pull something up here. Sorry, I'm just kind of digging through my local here, trying to find a page.
Okay. Well, I found something there. I can try to do some.
Okay, yeah, I'll admit, like, it has been a while since I've used this, so I don't
Okay.
want to give a poorly
Yeah.
done tutorial.
But it's okay. But it looks like it's an extension for Chrome.
Yeah, it's a Chrome extension, and so it'll open a little window
Okay.
alongside what you're looking at. And I do know that it has helped.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of experience with it, but I do know some of my other colleagues that work in support swear by it. So
Great. I will check it out.
alrighty, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, it looks like we have another question here. Is there a way to add multiple project fields to the report? That's from Manal.
Hello, Ethan. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Let me lower my hand. Sorry about that. I had a question. So, on like inbox, is
Mhm.
there any way to add like certain fields from the other project? I know it's pretty generic, but is there any way to add fields from another project to it or no?
So to add certain fields from a project to the inbox.
Yes.
So what would be an example of that?
So for example, if you have, I wish I could show you this. So we have an entity which shows up as entity name, start date, completed by, but the users also want to see the description of the project, and they also wanted to see the due date and then the submission date. The submission date I was able to get, which is like created by date, but I just can't get the due date. If I was wondering if there's any way to add that just one field into that inbox so they can see it.
Gotcha. Let's see. So typically we don't recommend editing that report. You can edit it. It pulls off of user assignment data, so it populates just based on
Hey,
anything
Ethan.
that's assigned to that.
You may
Hey,
need
Caitlin.
to reshare your screen.
Oh shoot. Let me go ahead and do that. jump in here.
Perfect.
It is loading. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, so this is the current assignment like report. So this is the backend that populates the My Assignment inbox. And so we can jump in here and edit this, and we could add some fields. I think one way we could do it is adding a flow inline field. But that has its own catches to it. My recommendation overall would be I would have a separate report that could just populate that data a little bit better. Rather than trying to use some of the inbox stuff, because I mean, we even have a warning up here. This report's used by a couple different things. And so if we start adding something to it, we could potentially mess something up that the system uses. And so I think overall for a more custom approach, I think just building a report that could display that data in the exact way that you want it would be the best course of action.
Gotcha. One more thing, how do you get that entity name? Because we have an entity name, for example, it has a project name, internal number, project number, it has it all together. Is there any way to like concatenate it or like separate them, or there's no way to do that too? Or like, how do you just get that entity name? I was wondering.
I want to say that this is populated. Here, I can jump in. Let me create a flow quickly. I want to say it uses one of the assignment data fields. Let's jump in. Let's create a new form. Add a button here. We'll set that to okay. Save that. Assignment type, we'll assign it to admin. So we'll do we'll name that assignment action. There. We'll debug, it will assign. Inbox. So it'll pull from that assignment name.
Okay, gotcha. So whatever I added, so if I have like multiple assignments, how does that work? Like with different names.
Like if we have multiple different flows doing multiple different assignments.
So for example, the first approval is for, says, escalation assignment. That's the name of the assignment. And then the second is like, please do this assignment name. Like, how would that make it work?
So what we could do is this assignment name right here, we could do something like a merge plain text. And so we could add, say we've got like a name attached to this, like Ethan assignment, and then we've got like a John assignment. We could have a field in here that says, you know, complete assignment for, and then we'll add like a data field over here, which would say complete assignment for Ethan, complete assignment for John, or something like that. So here I could even add in some data. Person name. Let's throw that in there. Then we'll do. We can save that. So now we have input data. We'll do, if I can spell my own name right, that would be awesome. So we've done that. We'll create a new session. And then we'll do John. And so now we should see, we have Ethan's assignment and we have John's assignment. And so we could build something like that that would have like, you know, if we have a case or something like that where we're creating process folders, we could add the number in there. That's kind of similar to how our ticketing system works. So we could add the number in there. We could add all sorts of data just to distinguish each one from each other. Does that answer your question?
Yes, and then the entity name cannot be like splitted. For example, I can't say, oh, the assignee name was Ethan, and since it's so generic, you don't recommend like doing that like splitting the entity name in different columns?
Not on this specific report.
Okay.
So like I said, we could do something custom where, we have like a flow source report or something like that, where we do kind of branch out some data and then create like our own sort of custom dashboard that has the data that we need. But I wouldn't do any sort of editing on this particular report right here.
Okay, gotcha. One last question. So I created like multiple reports and I created like, so there's like a main dashboard and then under that it's like multiple reports. I just added like a designer folder. I have been adding the permissions in. So for example, I go to manage permissions and just add my name, but all the others users are still being able to see those. Do you know, is there any other configuration I have to do? Usually we just go to manage permissions and it just takes care of it. But today I tried doing that multiple times. It's just not doing that.
So users are still able to see the entire dashboard, or it's just the reports that they're able to see?
So it's like multiple reports under one project. And they are able to see that. Like they're able to see everything, even though they shouldn't be. So for example, I have data dump, then I have data instructions, training folder. They're able to see all the folders.
Are you able to share your screen? It might be better if I
Yes.
could get a.
Sure.
Go ahead and stop again.
And try.
All right. Looks like you're a panelist. You'll need to unmute yourself one more time.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I've got you.
Okay, and this is it. So this is the project. So I have like multiple like admin homepage, reports, all these. The user should only be able to see this one. So right here we have all users. And then everything else, I kind of went in, managed the permission, and then I just put it for that person who should be only seeing this, but everybody still can see it.
Gotcha. Can we right click that folder again, the second one?
The admin homepage?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go under manage.
Mhm.
And then permissions, disable permissions inheritance. That's a toggle that's down that menu you're looking at. So typically folders that behave, it's just two more down.
Disable.
Just under that.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about
Yep.
that.
So folders, when they live within the folder tree, they will inherently inherit the permissions of their parent folder. And so that'll go all the way up to the parent folder. So currently, whatever permissions that we had set currently are being overridden by the random drug testing. And so now that we have it set, so it's going to have its own permissions for that particular folder, users should not be able to see it.
Okay, gotcha. Can I really quick try it real quick? Because
Yeah,
that's
go
just the
for it.
one thing. I am so sorry. Just a quick, really quick. Oh, promise. If it loads. There we go. And I'll just do anybody. There we go. So that was admin homepage.
All right,
Looks
so
like
it's still looking like we can see it.
yeah, they can still see all of them. And I'm like, I'm impersonating as one of our user.
When you disable the existing permissions to get copy from the parent. Interesting. So can we jump back to your admin account and look at that again?
Yes. So it's right here, and then they're under it.
And then let's look at the permissions one more time for that admin homepage.
Okay. So this is the only person who should be able to see it.
Okay, looks like group information, all users.
Oh, wait, sorry. Is this correct? No, that's not correct. Let me do that again. Manage permissions, take that out.
Yeah, so Alex just pointed out, it looks like it'll pull the permissions from that parent folder when we disable it, which I did not know. So we should be able to try it one more time.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So it looks has. Okay.
There we go.
That makes sense. So I just have to go to each report, each folder, and then just have to disable inheritance.
Yeah. So as I was saying, so that parent folder, that random drug testing folder, any
Mhm.
folders that we create underneath it will
Mhm.
inherit the permissions of the random drug folder. And so we have to
Okay.
go in and say, hey, don't inherit those. We want our own permissions just for this folder.
Okay, gotcha. So it works with every project. Whenever you do that, if you create another folder, just make sure you disable the inheritance. Otherwise, it will take that from there.
Yeah,
The
that's correct.
main dashboard. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all my questions were. I appreciate your
Yeah,
help.
absolutely. And as Alex said, just make sure that when we disable those permissions, it will inherit it will inherit that parent permissions by default. So once we disable it, it'll just pull from it anyways. So we might have to go in like we did there and remove that all users or whatever we have set up.
Oh, okay, which is this one, right? The manage permissions.
Yeah, so we'll just have to go in and double check these permissions are correct once we disable it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. That helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So I don't see any more questions in chat.
Yeah, Alex was on yesterday and had asked a question, and somebody had gone ahead and made a demo of it, so we might need to cover that as well. Hey, Alex, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, so that's I jumped on, because yesterday someone said that they might have a solution to my question, but I'm not sure whether they showed up.
Hello.
Hey
Hello?
there.
Hey. Yeah, Alex, I can demo you a solution that probably should fit you.
Okay, that'd be great.
I just promoted you to panelist. You'll have to come off mute once more. It looks like you're still muted.
Hello.
There you go.
Hello.
Perfect.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah,
Do you see my decision screen?
Yep.
yeah,
Okay, so Alex, I have that set up from yesterday, and basically I have an admin, and that admin has 2 accounts, reports,
yeah,
and each of these, and I'm not gonna rely on the folder structure. I'm just structured that way. Each of these has its own reports. So first account has these 2, second one has these 2, and I believe this guy is a manager of this guy.
okay,
And I'm not gonna rely on the folder structure. So, and that's really simple. It's very simple. You're gonna be like, wow. So in this flow, my input is what's the account that I want to get reports.
yeah,
If I debug that, that's gonna be my top level. So that's gonna have all that structure, right?
yeah,
Got that output data. You'll be like, probably that's what you need. So basically, I'm building branches. Say my top account is a manager of these 2.
yeah,
Now these guys, this guy and this guy, they have 2 accounts. That's level 2.
yeah,
This one and this one. And that guy has this one and this one. And this guy has that level. And that's we can test it, and it can go on and on and on. And it's super easy to create.
okay,
So this flow is easy. That's just level. You can set it to 0 if you would like to be 0 indexed. but I just set it to 1 because 0 would be the initiating account,
Yep.
and the next level will be 1. Now that field Will has shown you yesterday, just fetch relation.
Yep.
Then for each one, disregard these steps. That's just error handling. So basically, I'm just adding branch. Now recursion happens here. So that's add branch is basically just add item to list. When I add item to list, I'll show you the structure that I created. Accounts branch. This is just a flow structure. In here, I have my level, my email, account ID, and I have this thing, the type itself inside of this type.
Okay.
And it says basically what Will told you. That's not a good idea, but it works.
Okay.
So basically you add the same type, and I have created this converter. So main flow in here, I use when I add branch, when I add account branches, I use the converter, which looks exactly the same. I'm just using this extra step to manage levels.
Right.
Same step, and on this add branch, that's recursion. I use the same converter.
Right.
It's so easy.
Right.
So if you go back, so if I debug that with my top level, that gives me all things. If let's say I would like to get something on this guy, and we'll run it on this guy. It will give me just one account based
Gotcha.
on.
Very nice.
Cool. So it's super easy. It's just, it's not obvious, but that converter works just fine. And it's the same flow.
Okay. Okay, neat. Thank you.
If you want to send me your email, I can just send you the whole project if you want.
That'd be great.
Sure.
Where is this?
Yeah, Alex, I can drop it in the chat form.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, you made my lunch. I mean, not, I suppose that's yeah, that was great. Thank you.
So, Caitlin, do you want me to send it over to you or?
I'm about to send you his email. That way you guys
Oh,
can,
okay.
you guys can talk directly.
Okay.
Perfect.
Alrighty. So it looks like we're sitting right about 12:40. Do we have any other questions before we can go ahead and hop off here? Don't see any in the chat.
I do have kind of like a question, but it may be a support question. You know, when you have like a flow data extension type, that it like auto generates numbers in the data folder that you specify. Like what controls that? Because today I went in there and I found a duplicate number.
I'm not sure. I would probably have to look into that. I don't know what criteria it uses to pick that number.
Okay.
Let me see.
But the idea is that it's supposed to be like kind of an auto increment kind of thing.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah. So again, it's like I went in, I created a flow and was expecting to see it show up at the bottom since my last one was 48, I was looking for 49. There was no 49, but I noticed that there are now two 25s. And one of the 25s is the one that I created, today. And the other 25 is one that was created in 2021. So
That's interesting.
yeah. So I was just wondering, but if you don't know off the top of your head, I'll open a support ticket to figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, if you could, that would be awesome, because I could understand on one hand if it went back to 1, because then that would mean that, it just sees it as a different entity. But the fact that it starts at 25, that's interesting. That's a fun puzzle.
Yeah, I'll do another one to see if it ends up being 26, and that somehow this counter has kind of lost track of itself. So yeah, but yeah, I'll run that by support. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I don't see any more questions in the chat.
Alex, were you able to see the email that I sent you in the chat?
I am.
I also sent yours to Vitaly as well, so you guys have each other's info.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Not a problem.
All righty, well, I guess we are good to go ahead and end today's Lunch and Learn. I appreciate all of you for
Great.
coming out and hanging
Yep.
out with us for a little bit.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.
Okay, cheers.